Alright, so here we are. Let's start this entire thing once more. We saw that we, on the daily time frame, hit our daily bearish fair value gap. If it wants to load here, just a little bit laggy. Let me also clean up my order book here, object tree here quickly, not order book. Oh, those are many. Let me quickly group them and hide them, so we don't see all this 1 minute, 5 minute stuff on our chart. Hide this one as well. Monday, we don't need that. Calendar week 41. Liquidity, daily. We only want to look at the daily because that's where we started off. On Sunday, I shared the weekly outlook. And right here, we talked about that next week is very likely a potential upside expansion. We swept sell side here to the downside. And here, Friday closed very bullish with NFT. We happen to have a big new week opening gap, but already on Monday, on the supposedly bank holiday, we had a strong rally. We swept this daily high, previous Friday's high. I did not really expect this move to happen on Monday, Tuesday. So we will see, because tomorrow we actually have PPI news and FOMC, if I'm correct. And on Thursday, we will have CPI news. So that's going to be very interesting. Maybe price wants to continue up higher. We will see. But now we're already in our daily bearish fair value gap. We didn't hit the 50%, but if we go to a lower time frame, such as the 1 hour, we can see that we already hit that high here on Monday. Pretty sure, at least. Yep, that was still on Monday. And all these highs I outlined on the weekly outlook. Yet I didn't expect them to be ran on Tuesday. So this was me still back on Sunday, contemplating of what price is likely to do. And I talked about this bullish 4-hour order block and paired with this bullish 1 hour fair value gap. If you didn't watch the weekly outlook, it's on my YouTube channel. Make sure to watch it, because this is pretty much what happened, like to the tick. This is what we saw. We saw the order block, and right here, this was on Sunday. We didn't see the new week opening gap yet. And then Monday opened up, and we immediately hit that order block that we were talking about, because NFP news on Friday swept all the sell side down here. Swept sell side here and here. And we had this old order block, this one right here, supporting price as well. Right here we continued lower, had our displacement, we reacted off this order block, those 2 consecutive down closing candles. We already, let me zoom in here, we already bounced off it once, twice, and then with NFP news we dropped into it one more time, swept out that sell side, but we managed to bounce away from it very strongly, and we shifted market structure one more time. This is basically the unicorn setup, as ICT referenced it. So what we wanted to see is this 4 and 1 hour order block. If I go back up to the 4 hour time frame, this is the order block that I wanted to see, holding support. And beginning of the week, I already saw, okay, we open up with a massive bearish new week opening gap. And on Monday, yet still, we managed to fill that in completely and even clear the previous week's high right here, paired with Friday's high of that previous week. So this was pretty interesting. And then we closed on Monday. We still had orders buy side right here. No, let me copy that line. The buy side was very interesting to us, because we wanted to see how we could get into our daily bearish fair value gap. And this was the first buy side. Pretty much that daily high right here before we start pricing in our bearish fair value gap. So we referenced that on our 1 hour chart. We had orders on our chart, and this high right here. And this high right here. This will be more important later, because we saw that this was the last high where we rejected from on the 1 hour time frame. Of course, no, this is a hindsight analysis of what happened, trying to present a narrative of how it happened using the ICT concepts. I only caught the short during the PM session. I got chopped up during the New York Open, so for transparency, I do not claim that I know what the market is going to do. I gave a rough idea or outlook of what I think is likely to happen. Played out perfectly, but it's still tough to actually nail it in your live analysis. Otherwise, I don't know. ICT trading would be much simpler. Alright, so we see all that, and now we can drop down to a lower time frame. Let's drop it down to the 15. Oh no, let's immediately drop it down to the 5 and turn on our turn off the daily, and now we leave that on actually. Turn on our liquidity. So that's all the liquidity we talked about. Buy side, I had that marked on my chart since the weekly outlook. And today during London and New York. So first of all, during London, we had this pump, but really all we did, starting from the Asian session after sweeping that previous day's high. Let me turn on some of the drawings that I drew up and get rid of them. Some of them. I'm gonna stick to the important ones. Sell side liquidity, we haven't cleared that. So we started out during the Asian session sweeping the previous day's high, so already entering external buy side liquidity. But we failed to continue any higher, and instead we completely trended further to the downside with the 2 a.m. London Kilson Open. We had that last drop into Asia sell side liquidity and the current low of the day, because calendar week 41, because we had the new week open or new day open on Tuesday right here at 6 p.m. New York local time. This was the current low of the day before we had this drop below. And once we swept that sell side, we immediately had a long opportunity back up. I didn't participate on that, not because I didn't saw a clear setup here during the London session. So I waited. Then we had a new daily range from this high to this low. So if I draw my PD array, this is our current range for the day. And we fell short of our buy side. Let me hide it here quickly. We fell short of the Asian buy side liquidity literally by one tick. And then instead of continuing up higher, we reprice lower into a discount for longs to reprice back up into external buy side liquidity or a premium. And by doing that, we cleared some internal sell side, this low and this low right here. Then right here at 410, we had a strong push back to the upside. We could also measure this out and see if we had a optimum trade entry. Let me see that ICT fib retracement. Almost to the tick, hit the optimum trade entry level right here, this red line. So that played out pretty well. And followed by a strong push to the upside above the Asian buy side. From here on, we made one more push up higher, and then right here, post the London kill zone, so after 5 a.m., I kept on looking at the charts, and I saw this little nice displacement. Once again, we fell short of buy side, which would have been this daily high. And I wanted to see if we cannot do the same thing again. Right here, I draw my premium discount. PD array, where do we have it? To see if we cannot reprice lower off this specific bearish fair value gap into some sell side, which is in discount. So I still had my long bullish bias, but that doesn't keep me from taking 2022 setups. I mean, we just swept the Asian session high. We have a nice little displacement. We have our fair value gap paired with that, so everything was aligned. I took it. I took my entry right off this level. I didn't like what happened afterwards, but you know, price is not always perfect. It fell short of my stop loss by 1 tick, so I really thought, okay, this trade is gone. I was about to exit manually, but I got lucky because yeah, I didn't let my emotions control myself, and eventually I hit my final take profit target. I also alerted this 2022 model on the Discord server inside of the trade ideas VIP section. So this played out really well. Secured 9 points on that. And after that, yeah, I took my full exit right here. Then I started the live stream trying to frame shorts from this bearish fair value gap, which didn't play out. As we can see, we continued up higher. And this price action was really hard to sit through because every time we had a push up, immediately push down. And when we push down, we immediately push back up. So up until the 9:30 open, we really had nothing too interesting. And then we got back to our bearish fair value gap, the highest 5-minute bearish fair value gap before we reached buy side liquidity. So here we had relative equal highs, and I was keeping a very good eye on this bearish fair value gap because for me, we already pierced into it twice, and all we did was reject and take lows. We didn't take this low here, the 9 a.m. low. So all we did was consolidate here. We get a better picture of what we did if we drop down to the 1-minute time frame. On the 1-minute time frame, we can really see that seek and destroy environment. 9:30 opens up. We take sell side. We take buy side. From buy side, we take sell side one more time right here. Take sell side one more time, and we have equal highs behind. So from there on, I was really eyeing these equal highs because we already swept sell side. I understand we're in a consolidation market right now up until 9:50, so the beginning of the macro. I took a initial 1-minute entry long right here, but only with micros because I wanted to see that 5-minute candle close above our highest bearish fair value gap before we reach buy side. And then I actually placed a mini entry with my stop loss. I think 5 points is what I gave it because we had this choppy environment, but this close above these equal highs and above this bearish fair value gap was confirmation enough for me to take a long. And because I tried to get in a couple of times, not with lots of reasoning, just me trying to prove that I know it all and know what the market is about to do. But during this seek and destroy environment at the 9:30 open, I got chopped. So I got chopped into pieces. I was about in $500 drawdown, but I managed to recover the $500 with this quick 10-point move. I secured after 10 points. Of course, I kind of felt stupid, but I was happy with having secured my 10 points. Afterwards, I went back to micros to scalp my way to the upside. This is where all these fair value gaps that you see right here come from, because every discount or volume imbalance that we have left behind on the 1 hour has been respected perfectly. So I entered long right here. We had this little order block, no wick to the upside, paired with a bullish fair value gap and a volume imbalance. I added some positions right here. Let it continue up. After 5 points, I always took my profit. And then right here, I didn't enter because, no, we had this little bullish fair value gap, but I didn't draw it in. But like I said, I didn't enter here. And then we continued to break through all these equal highs. And here was this daily buy side liquidity, because up here we have our daily bearish fair value gap. I saw that we left behind equal highs, and I jumped in right here on this bullish fair value gap for another 5 points. And after that, I stopped trading and wanted to see what happens if I come back during the PM session. And obviously, we can see we still respected all these fair value gaps. We respected this one twice actually, and we continued to push up higher into our bearish fair value gap. Right here, once more, we respect bullish 1 minute fair value gaps to the tick perfectly, and we continue to expand further to the upside. Then right here, same scenario. Let me play that. We have a bullish fair value gap, and we respect it perfectly. We continue further to the upside. Now this is where the chart is getting a little bit messy, but let me explain. I took another long right here because I treated this down closing candle as an order block, because we swept internal sell side liquidity right here. Let me zoom in so you guys can actually see that. Right here, we swept high, continued back lower. So right here at this point I thought, okay, we're gonna take these lows. But then after this strong bullish engulfing candle with no wick to the upside, the idea of this down closing candle being a fake out move, turning into an order block, actually played out. And then I wanted to see what we're going to do after that. We repriced into the breaker block, order block, opened up with a bullish volume imbalance. This is where I took my entry for a quick 5 points. Played out very well. And then we kept on repricing higher into our daily bearish fair value gap. And now if we take a close look at what happened here, I was talking to a friend at this point in time, and we were looking for a short. And we saw that right here, let me continue playing it. This last push to the upside didn't happen on NQ. On NQ, we actually made a lower high right here. And this is what I wanted to see. I think I'm correct here, yeah. So let me pause that here. So right here we had that bearish SMT divergence, and if you remember, this was our highest 1 hour or a 1 hour buy side liquidity target. We hit that, we immediately reject, and NQ didn't make this last push, so we had bearish divergence with NQ. So I was already looking, okay, we could look for a short now. And then we had our displacement, our bearish market structure shift. We had this volume imbalance below it, and we had our bearish fair value gap. I'm talking about this one right here and this one here. So I put on a order with my stop loss above here, and once again I got pretty lucky, because I would have been stopped out with 3 more ticks. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 more ticks to the upside. But yeah, sometimes you're just lucky enough, even though it's some sort of skill, because I wanted to see that bearish SMT divergence played out perfectly. We swept that last highest buy side liquidity. I was still watching, didn't want to enter with full size, so because we're in a strong uptrend and we really didn't see the perfect confirmation for a short. We never closed below this fractal low. So yeah, from there on I was short with 1 micro, and it initially looked like it's gonna play out very well. We continued lower 1 more time, rejected here again, and then we broke this low. At this point in time I already moved my stop loss above these highs, because this was me being scared that we have a potential 3 drives pattern forming here. We pushed to the downside once, pull back, twice, pull back without breaking this high, and then for a 3rd time, and then I trailed my stop loss. But what actually happened is that I got stopped out with a small losing trade, and I was kind of upset because theoretically this trade was still valid. As we can see, we never closed above, and then I wanted to see, can I re-enter into this short? I saw that we are about to hit 1 PM New York local time. I was already out of this trade, but the SMT divergence with NQ is still valid, and we have order structure here for potential resistance. So this is really what I wanted to see. We had these equal highs, but to enter short again, this time with size, I wanted to see. So at this point in time, I was around break even, maybe with 200 bucks in profit after these micro scalps. And then I lost something here. But this is really where it got interesting. So we swept these short-term highs and we immediately rechecked. We closed below this bullish fair value gap paired with this volume imbalance right here. This really should have supported price if it would have wanted to continue to run these highs, but it didn't do that. So we closed below, and with that next 1 minute candle, I saw, okay, now we also have a bearish fair value gap here. And this all aligned with these equal lows right here. The higher time frame played out, NQ was already selling off, and we had the bearish SMT divergence with NQ as well. So I placed my limit entry right here, and it got filled right here, perfect, to the tick. I had my stop loss 1 tick above this high, and I was waiting for that new hour candle. I gave it one more chance to actually follow NQ here and to let this little 2022 model play out, even though I've been stopped out with a little loss right here because I trailed my stop loss. I wanted to see if we cannot drop, and as a target, guess what I used? I was looking at the PD arrays once more. So let me get rid of some stuff that we don't need. We leave this bullish fair value gap on in the rest of the analysis. I was looking forward to, before we continue playing, we all know what happened, but I wanted to see if we are able to pull back. Right here we have the low, if we look at regular trading hours, and here we have the high. So I wanted to see if price can move back to the equilibrium. 4395, that's 50% of the entire 930 open to the high of the current regular trading hours chart. So we're strongly overbought. We had a massive rally, so I want to see if it can come back towards the 50% or the VWAP. And if we look at the entire trading range, we can see that the VWAP at this point in time almost perfectly lined up with this little area. We also had some higher time frame sell side here. So overall, I had high conviction that we could reprice into a discount before we continue up higher, maybe tomorrow, I don't know. So that's what I did. And then we had, from this entry right here, a very strong sell-off, and we hit my target. It continued lower, yes, so we actually, let's take a close look, almost to the tick hit the consequent encouragement of the entire daily range. We missed it by 1 tick. We almost hit the VWAP, so let's see how it continued. After this major drop, I wouldn't expect too much. So yes, we actually hit the 50% right here, and we immediately pulled back. I wouldn't expect too much from this PM session at all anymore. We already had this massive pump, and the related drop back into our 50% level. Back to the VWAP, the volume weighted average price. I'd consider this right now fair valuation at the 50% of the entire daily range. And this is what this little short, not little short, 15 handle short was based on. After, taking a few losses here and there, but overall I ended up making $800. Does it show me that anywhere? Yeah, total PL $805 on my 150k funded account. So yeah, that was a tough trading day. I was, sort of taking some silly trades as well. I mean, you might likely saw that during the live stream. Not on my A game, and that's why I stopped the live stream. Really trying to focus, regroup myself. Then I managed to, regain from all these losses, because on a 5-minute time frame, full transparency, like I'm not trying to hide something, I looked forward to short from these fair value gaps to take out these equal lows, and this sell side right here didn't happen. I got stopped out right here. And then during the sideways movement, during the 9:30 open, I took 2 more small losses as well, and we all know they add up. So all up, yeah, in little bits of drawdown or big drawdown, $500, something around that. Managed to get all that back, and because I hit break even and I don't really like to continue after that, I switched over to micros to still get some practice on and tried to, yeah, long my way into the daily bearish fair value gap. Kept on going because every discount has been respected perfectly. But yeah, eventually it was time for the short, and I wanted to see the bearish SMT divergence with it. Paid off very well. Can't really complain about today. Do you guys have any questions? Gaslerki, Lecri. Not sure how to pronounce it correctly. Since you're still in the live stream. Not sure if you're listening, but if I don't get the question, I think that's gonna be it for this little recording. It's 26 minutes long. I recapped the entire trading day from the Asian session all the way to, yeah, the PM session where we are at right now. I hope I gave a good enough explanation of why price moved the way it did. I mean, we had the weekly bias for a upside expansion, yet I didn't really see it coming on Tuesday. It's okay because, yeah, Monday we were supposed to have a bank holiday, yet we had a pretty strong rally. And on Tuesday we were supposed to, yeah, I don't want to say supposed to, but we had no news. We expected the volatile trading days to be on Wednesday, Thursday, and maybe Friday, with news at 8:30 or 2 p.m. FOMC news or CPI news, but yet we didn't do that. We had our pump on Monday, and all we did during London and Asia was range, accumulate at the high, at the extreme, to continue to pump even more. Look at this. So all this was on a higher time frame was a little bit of accumulation at the high. We barely swept any sell side. The only sell side we did not sweep sell side at all. We touched this low, but we actually didn't sweep it. We formed equal lows. So yeah, overall, didn't really sweep sell side except the Asian session low. That remained in place, this 2 a.m. low. We touched it, and from this level we had this very strong pump into, yeah, pretty much all our weekly objectives. So I want to see how, yeah, what the chart is looking like if I get back to it on Wednesday. Keep in mind we have PPI and FOMC news. So since we're on the hourly time frame, let me turn off my lower time frame stuff. Here we have our daily PD arrays. We don't need them anymore. We used it to explain why we had this drop back to specifically this level. That's the 50%. That's everything below that is considered discount to reprice back up into a premium, higher prices, with our bullish bias for the week that we talked about on the weekly outlook. And yeah, if we displace this entire move, maybe with PPI news tomorrow, that would be interesting, because keep in mind we have perfect equal lows right here. We almost repriced into the consequent encouragement of our daily bearish fair value gap. Almost, we missed it by a few ticks, but we cleared most of the hourly buy side. We have a few more fair value gaps here on the hourly inside our daily, but that next proper short-term high would be almost at the top of the daily bearish fair value gap. So right here, if we look at highs with a lower high to the left and a lower high to the right, those are the ones that stand out. Lower high to the left, lower high to the right. Right here. All these are not really relevant to me on the hourly time frame, only the ones that actually, yeah, look like a swing high. We went lower, pulled back, continued lower. But this is a short-term high for me. And those are the ones we cleared below 50% of the daily FVG. So once more, let's check back to the 5-minute time frame. Where does this aggressive sell-off stop? Almost perfectly to the tick. We missed it by 1 tick. Give it some tolerance. If we measure from the low to the high of the day, the 50%. This was the daily fair value gap low. This is where I booked most of my profits. Yeah, and right now we're sort of going sideways. Maybe we get a little relief, but it's almost power hour. We will see. I'm curious to look at it tomorrow when I get back to the chart. But yeah, I hope this little recap of today was helpful. If you do have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below the YouTube video, or yeah, simply message me on Discord and I will try to give you a good answer. Alright guys, thanks for joining in on this live stream, live recap. Take care and until tomorrow. Bye.